Nike just released a brand new commercial featuring Caitlin Clark and her new Kobe shoe that she released today. There's a shot when she's in the locker room and she opens her eye and it like turns into what looks like a snake eye, but when you zoom in, it's actually the Kobe logo in her eye. And as you know, Kobe's nickname was the Black Mamba. I just felt like across the board, this commercial was a 10 for 10. And a lot of people have been getting on Nike because they don't feel like they have been promoting Caitlin as much as they should. But
Nike just lit the internet on fire, and not in the way they hoped. Caitlin Clark's Kobe's disappeared faster than your signal in a tunnel, and now Aja Wilson's fuming like someone swiped her MVP trophy and her signature shoe deal. Is this a sneaker war, a botched marketing move, or just pure corporate chaos? Whatever it is, Nike's sweating harder than a rookie at the free throw line in Game 7. Buckle up. This saga's messier than a reality show hosted by Dennis Rodman. Let's break down the madness.
It's your boy John, a Liquidator, coming back with another video. And it looked like Caitlin Clark sneakers just sold out 10 damn minutes. Guys, for this one here, we got to go all the way up to Indy. Let's get it. To the content, I want to give a big shout out to all of these subscribers on the channel, man. Shout out to you guys. The channel been growing great. And to all of the new subscribers, I highly recommend you guys click that subscribe button. A lot of people, you know what I'm saying, remix the stories we drop. We the hottest channel in the WNBA. No denying it, bro. We coming with real news, real facts, not made up stories. And pretty much, I'm going to just bring you the news quick as I can get it to you, dog. Men a lot, women a lot, numbers don't. Check out the numbers, bro. We ain't gotta, copy nobody's swag, remix nobody's story, because we the ones dropping it first. Now, with all that being said, let's see how quick they remix this one. Is coming out that the shoes, like I stated, was sold out in about 10 minutes. With all that being said, man, I ain't wasting no time. Let's head on over to X, pull it up right now. Now we do know Caitlin Clark Nike commercial dropped yesterday as well, and a lot of people probably didn't know this, but it was a reason why that Nike commercial dropped yesterday when it dropped, because it was to coincide with the signature Kobe PE shoes that came out.
Just like that, the sneaker scene morphed into the Hunger Games. One second you're hyped about a potential Aja Wilson shoe drop, and the next, the comment section turns into a dodgeball arena, white privilege accusations, flying at Kelsey Plum like it's recess with no rules. It's chaos. Aja had a golden opportunity to have fans camping out for her kicks, but now half the crowd's hitting the eject button. Even the resale vultures are backing off. This isn't hype. It's a full-blown PR freefall with no parachute in sight.
In incredibly surprising news, Nike has decided to push the button on Caitlin Clark in a way that I think represents an increase from anything that they've done thus far. We've, followed on the channel for quite a while about the lack of promotion, the lack of merchandise, the lack of everything kind of for, Nike support of, presumably their most valuable athlete, right?
Her team clearly thought this was the moment to speak truth to power, or whatever Instagram activist slogan they were chasing, but instead, they delivered a flaming PR disaster. Somewhere right now, Aja Wilson's team is huddled in a crisis meeting that feels more like damage control at DEFCON 1. You could feel the energy shift when fans realized her version of empowerment involved tossing one of the league's most respected and admired teammates under the bus, using racially charged jabs that read more like a viral Twitter rant than a thoughtful or responsible statement. The backlash? Swift and scorching.
And we've been waiting now for how long to get something from Nike on Caitlin Clark? How long has it been? Has it been a year, a full year for us to get something on Caitlin Clark that is specific to Caitlin Clark? And they do it hand in hand with the drop of the new sneaker that she has, for which I'm going to include in this conversation. Because let's be real, Nike has dropped the ball incredibly when it comes to anything and everything related to Caitlin Clark.
Congrats, I guess. Now your future sneaker's getting roasted harder than a dry potluck chicken. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark's out here performing miracles, launching threes from another zip code, threading passes like a magician, and single-handedly dragging the WNBA into relevance. And folks have the nerve to ask if she's overhyped? Spare me. She's not overhyped. She's undersupported. And without her, this league's buzz would be quieter than a library on Christmas.
Twitter. So we all know this was the scene yesterday. Actually, it was the Kobe Bryant logo in her eye, wasn't a snake. I thought it was the snake eye. That's hard. Shout out to CC the Press, man. No, it was Soul Retriever that caught it. Wow, everybody thought it was a snake eye. It was Kobe logo. Now, this is the post that we're talking about. Now, this came from NBC, and I'm guessing this is overseas because the date don't add up because it's not July 1st here in the United States. It's Monday the 30th. Right?
If you enjoying, please leave a like and subscribe our channel. Nike didn't even market her. They just put her name on a box and let capitalism do the rest. The Clark effect is so strong she could have sneezed into a tissue and someone would have turned it into a collector's item. And don't even get started on those vanished Kobes. Gone in 60 seconds? No, gone in a blink. The moment they hit the site, it was like a digital stampede. People were clawing their way through online queues like it was the last bottle of water in a desert. Nike didn't need to do a full campaign. They didn't need billboards or commercials. They didn't even need a TikTok dance challenge. They just had to exist in her orbit. That's the power of Caitlin Clark. If Nike had an ounce of foresight, we'd already have Caitlin Clark's signature shoes, hoodies, wristbands, phone cases, lip balm, lunchboxes, collectible figurines, and yes, Clark-themed hairbands. They could have mass-produced those neon sweatband halos she rocks during warm-ups, slapped her initials on them, and cashed in like it was Black Friday on steroids. But no. Instead, they hesitated. They fumbled. They let the hottest brand in sports culture sit on a shelf like expired yogurt while they tried to figure out what demographic she speaks to. Newsflash, all of them.
Nike finally delivers Caitlin Clark PE. Is this the first Caitlin Clark exclusive Nike commercial since she's entered the WNBA? I know she's made a cameo here, she's made a cameo there, she was featured as part of this rollout here, featured as part of this rollout there, but is this our first official Caitlin Clark solo commercial since she has joined the WNBA?
Because here's the thing, Caitlin doesn't need saving, she doesn't need framing, she doesn't need a carefully curated narrative, she is the narrative, she is the moment. While some folks are busy trying to re-engineer the cultural meaning of women's basketball, she's out here dragging her team to relevance, putting butts in seats, and exploding every tired stereotype with a pull-up jumper. And Nike, they could have had her design a shoe a year ago and printed money with every box. Instead, they gave us radio silence. Someone in their marketing department needs a sabbatical and a therapist. Meanwhile, Asia's PR crew is apparently flipping through the How to Alienate Fans in 3 Easy Steps handbook. And Kelsey Plum? The poor girl just showed up to play basketball and somehow got dragged into a sociology dissertation. 1 minute she's running pick and rolls. The next, she's being dissected like a case study in a freshman seminar. The irony? She didn't even say anything. All she did was exist. In the WNBA, apparently that's enough to launch 1,000 think pieces.
And I saw a lot of hemming and hawing about, Caitlin's bigger than this. She's like, why are they doing Kobe Bryant shoes and all from, some people. Other people were excited about it. Like, what this represents is like Nike tying her with an already kind of iconic basketball brand, which is like their, one of their biggest brands that they have, and then rolling that into what will be her shoe later in the year. That a lot of people are talking about. And these things are going to sell incredibly crazy.
And don't mistake it. This isn't about gatekeeping the spotlight. This is about understanding who's actually earned it. Caitlin Clark wasn't handed anything. She turned sold-out arenas into the norm. She gave college basketball ratings that had TV execs crying tears of joy. She made people care. And for some reason, that's being treated like a problem instead of a win. In what universe does a player who reinvigorates an entire sport get treated like she's hogging the mic? Asia had a chance to ride the wave, to celebrate the attention women's basketball is finally getting. The kind of take that sounds deep but actually just shallowly divides. And her PR team? They're out here treating career development like an open mic night, throwing out slogans, hashtags, and finger-pointing instead of actually building bridges. At this point, the only logical next step is for Nike to beg Clark to design a signature shoe immediately, like yesterday. Give her full control, colorways, logo, materials, the whole thing. Let her name it, the Sniper, or Ice Queen, or even just produce it, and watch it break every sneaker sales record in the book. Because the longer they wait, the more it looks like they're trying to figure out how to tiptoe around a fire they refuse to put out.
Credit where credit is due. I feel like in the past month or so, they have been tweeting about Caitlyn more, and then obviously with the shoe release, they made this super sick commercial to promote it. And of course, just today, Caitlyn Clark's new Kobe PE shoe sold out in less than a minute. And I saw so many tweets about this, so many people who were so sad that they missed out on this shoe. I saw that there was this one Dick's store and people were lined up around the corner, like camping out, trying to get the shoe. I also heard that Nike stocked about 14,000 of these, and that is an unconfirmed.
No more think pieces, no more hot takes, no more what about me energy. Caitlyn Clark is the face, that's not up for debate, and every second spent pretending otherwise is costing Nike millions, and the league momentum. They had the golden goose, they gave it the silent treatment. They could have made her brand the heartbeat of Gen Z and sports culture overnight, but instead, they let the chaos cook. And speaking of chaos, the Clark shoe resale market is now a digital black market. Prices are skyrocketing, bots are in full force, and sneakerheads are fighting with suburban dads in Reddit threads. Nike didn't even try to meet demand. They tossed out a few Kobe's, with Clark's name in the mix, like breadcrumbs, and acted shocked when the wolves came running. So yeah, you would have bought an Asia Wilson sneaker. But then she opened her mouth and fumbled the bag. Meanwhile, Caitlyn Clark could sell snow to a polar bear, and Nike is still out here evaluating her brand strategy.
But the Fever Star, for those who don't know, her own player edition of the Nike Kobe 5 Protro released in Fever colors. Sold out within minutes. Yes, that's right. And yeah, they had a few more available than they did for Asia Wilson's signature shoe. And I think Nike is, now that they actually have a timeline for the Caitlyn Clark signature shoe, they're starting to change things up just a little bit with Caitlyn Clark.
Absolute madness. She is the reality that hype wishes it could be. People want to dissect the numbers, the ticket sales, the social media traffic. But the truth is, Caitlyn Clark could be averaging 5 points a game, and she'd still be on everyone's lips, because of the way she carries herself. But here's the kicker. She's not averaging 5 points. She's putting up numbers that make seasoned vets double-check their stats and wonder if their careers were just elaborate warm-up acts. She doesn't just walk the walk, she sprints it. In transition, no-look passes it to a teammate, then calmly nails a 30-foot three while opponents are still tying their shoes. That's what sets her apart. And while others are out here composing soliloquies about being overlooked, Caitlyn's grinding on the sidelines after getting battered by some of the most physical defenses women's basketball has seen in years. She's bruised, iced up, probably half held together by KT tape and caffeine, but you won't see her sulking. No melodrama, no stink face, no reality TV energy, just a player so locked into her team she's standing up for her coach while injured, calling out refs on garbage calls like she's running a side hustle and officiating accountability. She's cheering on plays like she just won the lottery. You can feel the fire in her eyes every time her team sinks a bucket or gets a stop.
So the WNBA player Caitlyn Clark has a shoe deal with Nike to sell Kobe Bryant sneakers. They released yesterday and they sold out within 5 minutes. And the only thing I have to say about this is Angel Reese could never. I'll keep comparing Angel Reese to Caitlyn Clark. It's not a competition. Caitlyn Clark's ahead by miles. He was the #1 draft pick for a reason, people. There are men in the NBA who have shoe deals, and they can't even get their shoes to sell out as fast as Caitlyn.
That's not performance. That's investment. This isn't about brand building or camera angles. This is who she is. Meanwhile, the Asia Wilson energy is starting to read less like leadership and more like a reality competition show where everyone's fighting for attention with passive-aggressive comments and side eyes. If you stacked Caitlyn's humility next to Asia's current PR tour, it wouldn't be a comparison. It'd be a full-blown NASA launch, separating them at light speed. Asia's orbiting the galaxy of grievance, while Caitlyn's out here holding down the center of gravity with grace and basketball IQ that makes seasoned analysts salivate. Let's not pretend like it's just about performance either. It's the vibe, the whole aura. Caitlin Clark walks into an arena and shifts the energy like a sports psychic. Opponents feel it, coaches feel it, refs feel it, even if they still manage to hand her technicals for blinking wrong. She could score 0 points in a game and somehow still be the biggest storyline of the night, and not because of drama, but because of the respect she commands without ever demanding it.
So let's take a look at this video. If you haven't seen it yet, I'm going to drop the video for you on Caitlin Clark. Yes, there's some cute things in the video, but realistically, it doesn't do much for me. Let's take a look. So here is the actual commercial. Take a look.
That's what's eating certain players alive. While others are handing out lectures on recognition and equity, Caitlyn just is. She doesn't demand attention. It finds her, then drapes itself around her like a royal cloak made of shooting sleeves and humility. You can't manufacture authenticity, and you sure as hell can't fake the kind of poise that makes you cheer for your teammates harder than you'd cheer for yourself, especially when your knee is swollen like a grapefruit and you've been getting fouled harder than a stolen debit card. Even her critics can't help but sound unhinged. She's overhyped. Caitlin Clark has somehow become the gold standard without playing the politics. She's not sending passive-aggressive tweets. She's not sitting in interviews with a chip on her shoulder the size of a playoff bracket. She's simply doing what 99% of athletes claim they're about: playing the game, respecting the process, and lifting her team with nothing but grit, IQ, and a jump shot that could humiliate a brick wall. Her being sidelined should have been a dip in energy for the Fever.
If you are hoping to get your hands on the Caitlin Clark version of Nike's Kobe Bryant sneaker, you're out of luck. They are out of stock. The WNBA star teamed up with Nike for a player edition of the Kobe 5 Pro Tro, decked out in Indiana Fever colors. You see them on your screen. They dropped at 10 a.m. Monday, and they sold out before 11 a.m. In fact, in just minutes. The $190 kicks are already showing up on the secondary market at close to double the...
Instead, she became the unofficial assistant coach, the one shouting matchups, alerting teammates, talking refs into better calls, and still somehow managing to sell out arenas while wrapped in an ice pack. She's built like a competitor but wired like a leader. That's not a duality you find often in sports. It's usually one or the other. But Caitlin? She's the unicorn. Meanwhile, over in Team Frustration HQ, there's a new press cycle every other week, filled with complaints about media attention, team narratives, and historic snubs. Somehow it always leads back to Caitlin, even when she's not the one talking. Because deep down, everyone knows it's not just the stats, it's the impact. It's a cultural shift. Caitlin Clark is Gen Z's answer to a superstar. Authentic, humble, fierce, and never trying to play the martyr. She's not trying to prove the haters wrong. She's just trying to win games and make plays that look like they belong in a video game glitch reel. She doesn't need a viral quote. She is the moment. Even when she's sitting out, her presence is louder than half the league combined. You can feel the difference when she's on the bench. The energy changes, the camera still finds her, the crowd still chants her name.
Clark's signature sneaker is part of her 8-year, $28 million deal with Nike. Think about that, folks. Now I don't know in this. I'm going to just be upfront because I don't want to mislead. I don't know if in that statement he's, thinking about including other things that, ancillary stuff that comes off of that shoe and sort of making it a merchandise thing, sort of the way the Air Jordan brand became a thing above and beyond the Nike Air Jordans that came out at first, and if he's kind of lumping all that together. But that is a massive amount of money.
And she still finds a way to affect the game, even with a leg that probably deserves its own Netflix documentary at this point. If Caitlin Clark were playing in any other era, she'd be the undisputed face of the league without question. But somehow, at this moment, people are still trying to treat her as a controversy instead of a catalyst. No one's denying that, but when it comes to who embodies the future of the game, the one who moves the needle, inspires the next generation, and makes you want to watch, Caitlin Clark is running laps around the competition. She's not just changing the game, she's elevating it. While others are stuck in their feelings, she's out here creating moments. And if Nike's even halfway awake, they'll slap her name on every sneaker, sweatband, and billboard before she walks into another arena. Because this isn't just about basketball anymore. It's about legacy. And Caitlin Clark, with every cheer from the bench, every assist, every bounce back from injury, is building one brick by brick. No noise, no gimmicks, just greatness. If you enjoyed leaving a like and subscribing. More videos are on the screen now,